Hi, how are you? Jeez, sorry. Hold on. There we go. Um, Today, I said the title of this was the link between thought and supply. And so this is from what I'm going to be reading is from the book, which you probably can't see, The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity by Catherine Ponder. So it says, if somebody's asking the question of this woman who's writing this book, which was written in the 1950s, by the way, it says, perhaps you're thinking, if my prosperity comes basically from God, the source, creator, right? If he is the source of my supply, then why all the talk about prosperous thinking? What does prosperous thinking have to do with my supply? Good question, I guess. I don't know. God's rich supply is all around you universally. Think about it. As well as innately within you, as talents and abilities and ideas longing for expression. But that rich supply, those thoughts, ideas, and substance must be contacted and used. Your mind is your connecting link with it. Your attitudes, your mental concepts, beliefs, and outlook are your connecting link with source, God's rich supply, and your access to it. Source can only do for you what it can do through you by means of your thoughts and ideas, which lead to your reactions. So any of you out there who cringe at the word God or anything spiritual, think of the universe, right? Think of the abundance of life. Think of that. Don't allow a word that conjures up past anger, oppression, like the word God, okay? Don't allow that to stop you from really appreciating all the gifts that you have. That's the message. That's why I say all the time, we are our own cheerleaders and our own worst enemies. We are. And no amount of, I used to work in mental health. No amount of therapy, in my opinion, is going to help you get that through your head. It's an experience. You, in my opinion, again, you can't talk yourself into prosperity and happiness. You have to do something, right? It's good to go talk with someone, but you still have to do something. And I hear excuses from everybody, no matter where they are in life. You know, their opinion, not their opinion, their appraisal of their life, where they are or they aren't, what they have or they don't have, is always based on, according to them, the circumstances that they are around in, right? Well, I only have this because of this, and I only am this because of this person, so on and so forth. Wayne Dyer said it a long time ago. If you're waiting or if you're hoping that everyone else will change before your life changes, something like that, then you have a very long It's never going to happen. And that was a big paraphrase. Something to that effect. If you're waiting for other people to change before you get what you want or you change, that's a losing game. It really is. It's never going to happen. There's always going to be somebody else that comes into your life that's got this, it's the same issue. Have you noticed that? You know, you have a relationship with somebody, and then let's say you get divorced, and then you marry the exact same person. Well, they just look different. It's a different person. It's the same issues. You haven't learned the lesson. You haven't listened. And when you go through the course that I'm talking about, it's not about you being a better person. It's not about it's you stop listening to the program that's been installed in your mind by you and other people over years, decades probably. And it frees you from um, e- experiencing the limitations that they're self-imposed. And other people, especially in the personal development industry, and I've studied a lot of things in that industry, by believing what they say, it's it's taking on one transfer another. In other words, there are basic laws of the universe. They're universal principles. Nobody can lay claim to them. That's because they're universal principles. And one really basic one is the law of vibration. That is a primary law. It's beneath the law of attraction, meaning it's primary. It comes first. Whatever it is you perceive to want, like to believe that is out there, when you get in the same feeling of it as if you have it, right? It's a universal principle. You draw that to you because you're in a good space, right? I mean, if you want more money and you need more money, but you're frantic right now, if you can find a space, and if you first of all look around, if you look at your life and you begin to appreciate who you are and what you have at this very moment, and find a time to be mindful of the fact that you're grateful for the life that you have. You need to take a step back and say, I do have a pretty amazing life, no matter what's happening, right? You could always find things to be grateful for. I'm sure that's probably true of anyone. You could always find a way to be grateful. And you can always find a way to be helpful to someone else, probably on a daily basis. Even a smile. When I say even, a smile's a big deal because there are many people that probably go through their daily life that don't really feel that they connect with anyone. They're alone. They feel alone. Maybe they're not alone, but they feel alone. So when you begin to really truly appreciate, like it's beautiful out today, it's cold, but the sun is shining. And it's just a different feeling. You feel better. You feel better about yourself. You feel better about life. You're grateful. The sun's out. I mean, that in and of itself, you know, there's so many things that's good about that. and nobody can lay claim to the sun, right? There's no marketing person that can put a dollar figure on you having the sun shine on you, or fresh air, or a glass of water, right? All the good things in life that still and will always remain universally available to everyone. Sunshine, a glass of water, a smile. Think about that. No one, no marketing genius can lay claim to any of that, and they never will, and they never could. You're free. And that's what this is about. You being free from any preconceived notions that you can't do something, and self-limiting thoughts that you're not good enough. And that's what I've spent the majority of my life telling people and working on myself about. I'm not saying I've arrived, but I'm in a really great space in my life. And I think everybody should feel like this. Happy to be here, happy to be alive, grateful that I'm here, grateful that I get to look at, I'm on technology right now. And whoever gets to see this gets to hear this, right? It is for everyone. I know all the marketing people say if you're marketing to everyone, you're marketing to no one. Well, okay. Those are marketing people, right? They too, by the way, if you're a marketing person, can feel commoditized. Feeling commoditized means there's so many people in your space, you're trying desperately to be heard. Everybody wants to be heard, and everybody wants to be seen, no matter who they are and where they are in life. Everybody deserves respect. That's what I think. And I think a lot of people think that. So, this is a great book. I'll put it in the chat. The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity by Catherine Ponder. If you have an Audible account, you can, listen to it. And then I get the book also because I like having the book. The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. By Catherine Ponder. Sorry. So if you have questions, and maybe you do, email me, Lisa at Vitale.com. I've said this many times before also. I said it on LinkedIn yesterday. It's not about getting another degree. I get all these things from people trying to sell me another degree, MBA, a PhD, and blah, 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 another certificate. It's not about that. And sorry to say for all the people in the psychological industry, because I was in that long ago, you've been commoditized also. And meaning many people just want to be free. They want to be free of the self-limiting thoughts that they keep talking about and you keep letting them talk about. And I said this a long time ago when I was in the field, a really good psychologist, and I met someone like this recently. The objective of a really good therapist, psychologist should be, in this man's opinion, in my opinion, is to help you see your way through what you're talking about, not to regurgitate it over and over again. So if you're listening and you're seeing someone and you're just talking about the same thing over and over, do you have a plan to work through it, get to the other side? Or are you going to keep regurgitating it over and over again? Because I've said it many times, and I get flack for this, but I'm going to say it again. Job security for them and more misery for you. That's the truth. Think about it. Do you want to sit there and talk to these people about your stuff? Or do you want to get on with your life? Now, if you just want to sit around and talk about it, then they'll listen, I guess, right? But if you want to really not feel that anymore and not be there in that space, then you need to move through it. Do something to move through it. And those are the people in life that actually are happier. You know, admitting a mistake, admitting it didn't work, admitting you were wrong, admitting to yourself you failed, you learned lessons, you know, you got feedback from the universe, however you express a failure, a feeling of failure, they're all lessons. I mean, nobody gets where they feel that, you know, nobody gets to the top, whatever that means, you know, to you. Success is like a road like this. It is. It's never a straight shot. And the people that say it's a straight shot run, because it's not. I've studied with a lot of different people, paid a lot of money to study with some major people who portrayed themselves to be this, um, like they started with nothing and then, you know, they're multimillionaires. Well, after you give them a bunch of money, they begin to reveal the real truth. That's not the truth. That wasn't the truth. Because that makes you feel as somebody that's, you know, like, oh, so does that mean I need to start like from living under a bridge so I can be a multimillionaire? Like, do I need to suffer more? You know, do I need to go bankrupt 3 times? For them, maybe they did. For you, maybe not. See what I mean? So, in other words, true transparency of people who have been successful, how'd they get there? So, be careful who you follow, be careful who you listen to. And I think when you go back to basic stuff, like studying universal principles, no one can lay claim to them. There's no marketing person that can lay claim to that. The more you study it, the more you realize a lot of the influencers and a lot of the people out there that are saying whatever they're saying will be here, is here today and gone tomorrow because it was a smokescreen. They really didn't do what they said, or they didn't do it the way they're saying. And if you follow those steps, you probably won't get what they got. I found that out. I paid a lot of money to find that out. So it's the true bait and switch. That's what it felt like. Like, oh, okay. You mean I just gave you $20,000 and now I need to give you more in order to really, that's how you got where you got, right? By, you know, sugarcoating everything and just upselling people continuously. And my 20,000 was really worth nothing. Great. Okay. See what I mean? So, um, there is a point to all this, and the point is basic universal principles never lie because they're principles. Um, you know, I heard somebody else say this, and I feel that it's true. Truth is light, Lies are heavy. Think about that. Truth is light. Lies are heavy. You know, people who are lying or trying to pull the wool over you, you know, when you feel like, this doesn't sound right. If it doesn't sound right and if it doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. So, why I'm saying all this is that I believe anyone, even children, I know this isn't, I didn't say this was for kids, but it is. There's no profanity here. It's truth is truth. And there are some basic tenets in life. Basic. One of them is energy is. That's one of them. I can't think of the others, but they're pretty basic. We are all, I've heard people say we're all recycled stardust. We're all part, we're all connected. We're all energy. This thing behind me is energy. It's just vibrating at a really low frequency because it's solid. Bob Proctor used to talk about water, the different forms of water. Water, and then you could get ice, steam, and then mist, all different frequencies, but they're all connected. And you're like that too. Your thoughts are the fastest vibration around. And that's why they're so powerful. And people say, you need to be aware of that. You do. Not in a fearful way, just to listen to yourself. And I say, listen to yourself, speaking to yourself. Here's a good example, and I'll let you go. Years ago, when I was a trader, I traded for 11 years, stocks and options, mostly options. And I always had allergies. I was allergic to pollen and all kinds of things. And I'd say to my husband all the time, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. My nose was stuffed up. I can't breathe. I never stopped to think of all the things I was drinking and eating that might have contributed to it. And then there was black mold in my office, and I didn't know it. And it emitted really toxic toxins. And I got sick, and 14 different doctors didn't know what was going on. 14 different medical people. They all weren't MDs. And my husband said, and then you really couldn't breathe. And I was like, you're right. I couldn't. I couldn't catch my breath. I didn't feel like I could breathe from here or from here. I was all the time until I figured it out, until I got rid of the toxins. And that took like 7 months to figure it out and create some kind of calmness in my life, homeostasis. I learned a lot about people. I learned a lot about myself. Yeah, you get really clear about what you want in life when you feel like you're gasping for air and it's continuous. So it's not like that anymore. And I say, thank you, God, I can breathe. It's a wonderful thing that we all take for granted. I don't take it for granted. So this is running long. So if you have any questions, send me an email. Sign up for the course. It starts February 1st. Today is the 27th of January, so you probably won't see this. You can still send me an email. I'm going to be doing this. I'm planning on doing this all year in the evenings. So send me an email. It's a very affordable course compared to all the stuff that's out there. Extremely affordable. And if I were you, I'd go back to it without me or with me, whatever, at least once a year. So have a great day. See you next time. Bye-bye.